Hey everyone, and welcome back. This episode, we're gonna talk about the infamous act of ghosting. We're gonna go into what are the different types of ghosting, why people do it, and what should you do if you find yourself in a situation where you're being ghosted. I remember reading an article a while back from this girl who wrote about how she actually prefers if a guy ghosts her. In her opinion, she was saying that she'd prefer not to have an awkward conversation with someone about why they don't want to see her anymore. Now, most of us are not like this. We want to have a conversation with someone, or at least we want to know that the person is going to make an exit from our lives before they just leave and disappear without a trace. So, what are the 3 types of ghosting? Number 1, this is when you're online on a dating app and you're talking with someone and you've shared a few conversational exchanges, maybe even more, and then all of a sudden it's in the middle of an important conversation, or at least one where you would expect a response, it goes completely silent. This is frustrating because you've never met the person, you don't know what happened to them, and just as quickly as they appeared through your life through a screen is just as quickly as they're gone. The second type of ghosting is the in-person ghosting of a date. This is when you make plans with someone and you actually go as far as getting off the online dating app, showing up to the location, the restaurant, whatever it may be, and the person doesn't show up. This has to be one of the most annoying forms of ghosting. You took your time, you got ready for the date, you had certain expectations of meeting this person, you were mentally preparing yourself for introductions and for a new person. However, in the end, they were nowhere to be found. This is particularly annoying because it also comes with an element of embarrassment. If you're sitting at a table and you're waiting for someone, or you're standing outside all dolled up looking around when no one's coming, yes, that is embarrassing. So that is the second type. The third type of ghosting, this is not just going out and going on a date at a restaurant 15 or 30 minutes from you. This is when you're actually going to go to another city, to another state, and let 90 Day Fiancé tell you to another country to meet someone that you haven't met before. This is terrifying, and they do not appear and they leave you stranded. Those are 3 major types of ghosting. I'm gonna tell you my story with ghosting. I was talking to a guy online. We had been talking for some time, and by talking, what I mean is exchanging messages, right? So really writing to a guy online, and after back and forth conversation and flirting, we talked about possibly seeing each other. Now, I was at the point in my life where I was up for anything. I did not think much of it when he asked me to come see him, and he was in another state. So in my mind, I was thinking about the logistics of going to see him. Should I buy a plane ticket? Should I drive my car? How much was it gonna cost in terms of gas or traveling? Where would I stay once I got there? Because I didn't know him that well. How would that work out for me? So all of these things were going through my head. And then for some reason, and this is where I think I got lucky, because I hear stories where a multitude of different things can happen. For some reason, my life got busy. I don't know if it was school, work, whatever it was at the time. And I decided, you know what? I don't want to buy a plane ticket yet because I don't even know what time I'm going to be able to leave, how long I'll be able to stay there. I have other commitments that I need to do here at home. So then I decided, okay, when it comes time to go, I will drive there. The drive was going to be about 6 or 7 hours to get there. So I made up my mind that that is what I was going to do. And so we're talking, we're communicating on the phone. Then the week before it's time for this trip that we talked about, I sent him a message and I get no reply. I think, okay, that's really weird. A few days before, I send him a message. I say, hey, should I still plan on coming? Nothing. Zero reply. The day of the trip comes, and I mean, it should be obvious at this point, right? But I decide to try a third time, one last time. I say, hey, hadn't heard from you. What's going on? Are we still on for me coming to visit you? And there was nothing. So after that happened, I felt embarrassed. I felt dumb. And I felt lucky all at the same time. I hadn't spent any money. I hadn't wasted any extra time, just the time I had wasted actually talking with him on the dating app. And for all purposes, I was safe, The only thing hurting was my feelings at that point. But here's the twist. I hadn't heard from him after that. Nothing. Weeks passed, months passed, a year passed, 2 years passed. And all of a sudden, after 2 years, guess who shows up in a text message on my phone? That guy. And there was no apology, no acknowledgement of the fact that he ghosted me 2 years prior. Like, this is a ghost that's really haunting. 2 years. Nothing. No acknowledgement of the time that had passed. And not even a hello, how are you? He hits me up to ask a question about a program that he's interested in that he thought I've done before. Isn't that crazy? Some of these men have the audacity. They completely have the audacity. And so, unfortunately, it is up to you to take matters into your own hand, to look out for yourself and to protect yourself. Do you know what I did when he messaged me 2 years later? Because I had still not learned, I messaged him back with the information he asked for. I didn't call him out for the time that had passed. I didn't ghost him and leave him on red without a reply. I actually gave him the information he wanted, as if, I was obligated to. I didn't want to be the mean girl. I didn't want to be a bitter girl. And so I engaged with him like nothing had happened. And guess what he said after that? Oh, thanks. And then he disappeared again. Insane. So this is my advice for how to deal with being ghosted. Obviously, it's difficult to tell if and when someone is actually going to ghost you. If you're online dating, how you can avoid the intense hurt and disappointment that comes with that, or at least having that hurt last a long time, is keep your options open from the start. Speak with multiple people from the beginning. Don't just zone in on one person online who you've never met. Okay? If you've met them, that's different. But until these people are actually in front of you or speaking with you, they're just faces on a screen, and you have to think to yourself, we're not at that level yet. Another thing, if a ghost decides to come back to haunt you, right? This is someone who has ghosted you, but now they come back with a message randomly, an undefined amount of time later. It is up to you to do one of two things. Number one, call them out. Number two, ghost them. Now, I know 2 ghosts might not make a right, but they might for you, okay? So you need to let them know it was not okay, and not in an angry way, but just to let them know that they can't get away with doing that. And save your energy and time for the ones that are consistently showing up for you, that are engaging in conversations back and forth, that you show up in person and they show up too. Last but not least, take very great caution when planning to meet someone, let's say in another city, state, or country for the first time. That could be a different kind of situation. If at all possible, have them come to you instead. Don't go to them. Have them meet you somewhere public. Have a close friend nearby. Do these things to protect yourself. Do not end up wasting your time or your money on your heart on a ghost. Anyway, that's all. Thanks for listening. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and comment below on your ghosting experiences. I've heard a bunch of different stories, from the mildest ghosting stories to like the crazy, insane ghosting stories. So tell me what your experience has been below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.